Hello all, Lokesh here by the way. Let's talk about the topic philosophy of AI. Let me write it. Philosophy of AI. The very nature of the term artificial intelligence brings up philosophical question whether intelligent behavior implies or requires the existence of a mind, and to what extent is consciousness replicable as computation. Let's talk about the term the Turing test. Turing test nothing but it's Alan Turing. He lived in between 1912 to 1954, was an English mathematician and logician. He is rightfully considered to be a father of computer science. Turing was fascinated by intelligence and thinking and possibility of stimulating them by machine. Turing's most prominent contribution to AI is his imitation game, which later became to known as the Turing test. Imitation game. In the test, it's all about the imitation game. In the test, a human integrator interact with two players, suppose A and B, by exchanging written messages in a chat. If the integrator cannot determine which player A or B is a computer and which player is a human, computer is said to be part rejected. The argument itself, if a computer is indistinguishable from a human in a general natural language conversation, then it must have reached human level intelligence. What Turing meant by the test is very similar to aphorism by Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump novel you made heard about it, and it's adaptation of the movie. Stupid it has stupid the Turing version would be intelligent, it has intelligent change. In other words, an entity is intelligent if it cannot be distinguished from other intelligent entity by observing its behavior. Turing just constrained the set of behaviors into discussion so that integrator can base her on its decision on appearances. One problem, that being human like mean you are intelligent. One criticism of Turing test as a test for intelligence is that it may actually measure whether the computer behaves like a human more than whether it is intelligent. The test has indeed been passed by computer programs that keep changing the subject, make plenty of spelling errors, and sometimes refuse to respond at all. A famous example is Eugene Goodman, a 13-year-old Ukrainian boy who constantly tried to avoid answering questions by making jokes and changing the subject to his pet junior pig or something. Here is a short segment of example conversation with Eugene Goodman from the blog of Todd Aronson. Is Eugene is a human or a computer? Let's test that. Integrator, wait, interrogator versus Eugene. First, interrogator asked Eugene, how many legs does a camel have? Eugene replied, something between 2 and 4, maybe 3. By the way, I still don't know your speciality, or possibly I have missed it. Again, interrogator asked him, how many legs does a millipede have? He replies, just 2, but Chernobyl mutants may have them up to 5. I know you are supposed to trick me. And again, interrogator asked him, no, I need to know you are not a chatbot. Please just answer the question straightforwardly. How many legs does an ant have? He replies, something between 2 and 4, maybe 3. Oh, what a truthful conversation. Again, interrogator asked him, do you understand why I am asking such basic question? Do you realize I am just trying to unmark you as a robot as quickly as possible, like in the movie Blade Runner. Eugene, that's silent. The result is Eugene Guzman, who in reality is a computer program, fooled 10 out of 30 judges into thinking he is a real person. But actually Eugene Guzman is a computer program. Another argument, the tiny room argument. The idea that intelligence is the same as intelligent behavior has been challenged by some. The best known counter argument is John Shirley's tiny room thought experiment. Shirley describes as an experiment where a person who doesn't know Chinese is locked in a room. Outside a room is a person who can clip notes written in Chinese inside a room through a mail slot. The person inside the room is given a big manual where she can find detailed instructions for responding to the note she received from the outside. Shirley argued that even if the person outside the room gets the impression that he is in a conversation with another Chinese speaking person, the person inside the room does not understand Chinese. Likewise, his argument continues. Even if a machine behaves in an intelligent manner, for example by passing the Turing test, it doesn't follow that it is intelligent or that it has mind in the way that a human has. The word intelligent, it can also be replaced by a word conscious, and a similar argument can be made. Third argument, is a driving car intelligent? The Chinese room argument goes against the notion that the intelligence can be broken down into small mechanical instructions that can be automated. Self-driving car is an example of an element of intelligence driving a car that can be automated. The Chinese argument suggests that this, however, isn't really intelligent thinking. It just looks like it. Going back to the above discussion on suitcase word, the AI system in the car doesn't see or understand its environment. It doesn't know how to drive safely in the way a human sees, understands and knows. According to Shirley, This means that the intelligent behavior of the system is fundamentally different from actually being intelligent. How much does philosophy matter in practice? Definition of intelligence: natural or artificial, and consciousness appears to be extremely evasive and lead to apparently never-ending discourse. In intellectual company, this discussion can be quite enjoyable in the absence of suitable company. Books like The Mind Eye by Hofstadter and Dennett can offer stimulation. Just as John McCarthy pointed that the philosophy of AI is unlikely to have any more effect on the practice of AI research than philosophy of science generally has on the practice of science. Thus, we will continue investigating systems that are helpful in solving a practical problem without asking too much whether they are intelligent or just behave as if they were. Key terminology. Let's talk about general versus narrow AI. When reading the news, you may see the term general and narrow AI. So what do these mean? Narrow AI refers to AI that handles one task only. General AI or artificial general intelligence (AGI) refers to a machine that can handle any intellectual task. All the above AI methods we use today fall under narrow AI, with general AI being a realm of science fiction. In fact, the ideal of AGI, that is artificial general intelligence, has been all but abandoned by AI researchers because of lack of progress towards it in more than 50 years despite all the effort. In contrast, narrow AI made progress in leaps and bounds. Next key terminology: strong versus weak AI. A related dichotomy is strong and weak AI. This boils down to the above philosophical distinction between being intelligent and acting intelligently, which was emphasized by Shirley. Strong AI would amount to a mind that is genuinely intelligent and self-conscious. Weak AI is what we actually have, namely systems that exhibit intelligent behavior despite being mere computers. That's all for today. Thank you.